Hello students, I am Kinjal Parmar. Welcome back to the video lecture series of Digital Fundamental. Today we will discuss programmable logic array. So let's start with the definition of programmable logic array. This programmable logic array is basically most commonly used programmable logic device which has programmable AND gates and programmable OR gate. This programmable logic array, that means PLA, okay, programmable logic array, that means PLA, is most commonly used programmable logic device which has this programmable AND gates and programmable OR gates, okay. In this programmable logic array, we have a programmable AND gates and programmable OR gates. This programmable logic circuit, or says PLA, is basically easy to use and very flexible, okay. It is easy to use and very flexible as compared to this programmable array logic, that is PAL. This PLA is very flexible as compared to this programmable array logic, because in programmable array logic there is only one programmable AND gates and fixed OR gate, but in PLA we have both AND gates and OR gates are programmable, okay. That's why this PLA is flexible as compared to this programmable array logic, okay. This PLA is basically used to implement various digital circuit which are reprogrammable, okay. Here, using this programmable logic array, we can implement various digital circuit which are reconfigured. That means we can again them program, or we can again make a connections depending on our requirements, okay. Though if we implement any kind of logic circuits using this PLA circuit, in that PLA circuits we can also implement other kind of logical circuits, okay. So basically this most important factor of this programmable logic array is that it can be reconfigurable. That means depending on our requirement, we can again reconnected or remodified this logical circuits, okay. So this is programmable logic array. This programmable logic array has programmable AND array which is connected to programmable OR array, and here we have a output, okay. So here we apply input to programmable AND gate, then output of a programmable AND gate is connected to this programmable OR gate, and this programmable OR gate output is basically our logical functions, okay. So basically in this programmable logic array we can implement various kinds of logical functions using this kind of logical circuitry, okay. Here this programmable logic array is used to implement various logical functions, okay. So the implementation of SOP functions, a function which is in a SOP form, this function is basically implemented using AND gate, OR gate and inverter, okay. So to implement SOP form functions, we have to use AND gate, OR gates and inverter. This all three structure are just replaced by our programmable logic array, okay. That means in a programmable logic array we have a inverter circuit, AND gate circuits and OR gate circuits. So using this PLA we can implement our SOP form logical functions. This PLA structure is quite similar to ROM as PLD, okay. This PLA structure is quite similar to ROM as PLD, but in a ROM as PLD we have all minterms. However, in this PLA we have only require minterms. So here in this PLA all minterms are not realized, but only required minterms are realized in this programmable logic array. In a ROM as a PLD, here we have all the minterms present, okay, all the minterms present, and depending on our requirements we can connect them. but here in this we have a only required minterms, that means we have a only required product terms. Okay, minterms, that means product terms. In a ROM we have all the product terms. In a PLA we have only required product terms. Okay, so this is our programmable logic array. In PLA, okay, every input variable and its complemented value is present, and it will be connected or disconnected with the AND gates depending on our requirements. Okay, here in PLA circuit we have input combinations, and this we have a normal input and complemented input. So depending on our requirements, this normal or complemented inputs are connected with our AND gates, and this AND gates generates various product terms depending on the connections. Okay, and these product terms are given to the OR gates. Here, for example, if we have a 3 input variable, that is A, B, C, so at input side we have A dash, B dash, C dash, and depending on the requirements, either A or A dash, or either B or B dash, or either C or C dash is connected or disconnected with our AND gates. Okay, and this AND gate generates various input. Okay, so in a PLA, this programmable AND gates is basically generated various product terms. This programmable logic array generates various product terms using this programmable AND gate, and the output of programmable AND gate is connected to programmable OR gate. That means whatever the terms, or says whatever the product terms required, is connected to our OR gates. Okay, and depending on our requirements, any of the min terms is connected with OR terms. Okay, so here we have a programmable OR gate, so any of the programmable AND gates output is connected with programmable OR gate depending on our requirements, and hence this programmable OR gate produce our output. Okay, this programmable OR gate produce logical functions in a SOP form, because here we have a AND terms, and then after AND terms all the output of AND terms is applied to OR gates depending on our requirements, and then we have our logical functions output. Here we have a basic logical diagram of programmable array logic. Here we have a 3 input, 8 AND gates and 4 OR gate structure. Okay, here we have a 3 input, 8 AND gates and 4 OR gate structure. Here we have a B, C, 3 input variable and its inverted value A dash, B dash, C dash. All the values are connected with all the 8 AND gates. Okay, that's why here we have a 6 crosses, which denotes that here in this AND gate we connected either A or A dash, or B or B dash, or C or C dash. Okay, in all the AND gates, and depending on our requirements, any of the input is connected with AND gate. Okay, any of the input is connected with AND gates depending on our requirements, and then this any of the 8 AND gate is again connected to our OR gates depending on our requirements. Whatever the terms required in any logic function is connected with this AND gate for a product terms. Okay, if we have a 2 common product terms, so in both the inputs for this OR gate, either in for F1 or either in F2, if there are so many common terms, so we can use this common product terms. Okay, and using this kind of logic we can implement various logical functions. Let's discuss this with example. So here we have this kind of example: implement logical functions with our programmable logic array. Okay, so here we have a F1 is equals to AB plus AC dash. Here we have a F1 is equals to AB plus AC dash. So in a first AND gate we apply this A and B. Okay, here we connect A and B. So here in this AND gate we have a AB, and in a next AND gate we apply this A and C dash. Okay, so here we have a AC dash. So in for F1 this all 2 AND gates output is connected to this OR gates. Okay, so here we apply this first AND gate output and second AND gate output. So here we mark cross signs. Okay, and this cross sign is applied to our F1. So basically in F1 we have a AB plus AC dash. Okay, so in F1 we have a AB plus AC dash. Now here we have a F2 is equals to AB dash plus BC plus AC dash. Okay, F2 is equals to AB dash plus AC plus AB dash. So mark here we have this common term, that is AC dash. Okay, here we have a common term between F1 and F2 AC dash. So it will be generated only one time. So here AC dash is generated. So here we have to just implement AB dash and BC. So here we generate AB dash and BC's and we apply this three product term to F2. Okay, so here we have this kind of logical functions F1 and F2. If we have a common term, so we can use one AND gates in both the logical functions. Okay, because here we have a programmable OR gates, so both the common terms are applied to this function implementations. Okay, so here we use common terms and here we generate only required mean terms. Okay, here we generate only required product terms or required mean terms. This is how we can implement any kind of logical functions in a programmable logic array. Now sometimes we implement programmable logic array functions either in a normal form or in a complemented form. Okay, sometimes we produce logical functions either in a complemented form or in a normal form. So here we use XOR gate. Okay, here we use XOR gate to implement our logical functions either in a normal form or in a complemented form. For example, if we implement logical functions in a complement form and then we want to generate our complemented form logical function into a normal form, so we can use XOR gate. Okay, we can use XOR gate. Why? Because if we use XOR gate and if we have a one input is connected and other input are 1, okay, if one input is for example X and another input are 1, so basically whenever we XOR any values with X, we have a inverted value. For example, we have a, if 0 XOR 1, so we have a 1, and 1 XOR 1 we have a 0. So in both the case this 0 and 1 is complemented. Okay, so whenever we have a XOR gates and if we apply input for example X and another input is 1, so whenever we XOR the operation, so if we have a X XOR 1, so we have a basically output that is X dash. Okay, so whenever we apply our logical gates XOR with 1 as an input and another various inputs either in a normal form or a complemented form, so basically when in a XOR form we have a 1 as an input, we have a complemented outputs, and whenever we have a 0 as a one input and another input is some random values either X, so we have a no change conditions. That means X XOR 0 is basically X. Okay, X XOR 0 is basically X because whenever we apply this 0 in a XOR, so we have another term and a as it is form. For example, 0 XOR 0 0 and 1 XOR 0 we have a 1. So every time we have a no change conditions. Okay, so this XOR gate is basically used to generate a term or logical function either in a complemented form or in a normal form. So whenever we apply our normal form output, okay, whenever we apply normal form output with another input is 1, with another input is 1, so we have a inverted output. Okay, we have a inverted output, and if we apply our this OR gate outputs with 0, okay, OR gate output and another input is 0, so we have a as it is output form, that means normal output form. Okay, so that's why this XOR gate is basically used to generate our logical functions either in a normal form or in a complemented form. So how this XOR gate is used, so let's discuss this with one example. So here we have this kind of example that implement a logical function f1 is equals to 0 1 2 4. Okay, f1 is equals to 0 1 2 4 and f2 is equals to 0 5 6 7. Okay, f2 is equals to 0 5 6 7. Now we want to implement this f1 and f2 with PLA, but here this specification is given that implement this logical function f1 and f2 with 3 input. Okay, with 3 input 4 product term and 2 output. Okay, with 3 input, that means we have to use 3 inputs, and yes, we can implement this with 3 input. Here we use A, B, C. Okay, so here we have our logical functions, 3 input. Now here we have to design this with 4 AND gates, because here we have given that in example that we have to use only 4 product terms. Okay, so we have to find out the values for this F1 and F2 for a common terms. Okay, because we want to implement this F1 and F2 with only 4 product terms, and we have to use 2 outputs. So yes, we have 2 outputs, F1 and F2. So this input and output conditions are satisfied, but we have to find out here for a 4 product terms. Okay, so first let's find out the logical equations for F1 and F2. So here we make a K-map for F1. So here we make this kind of group, and here we have a F1 is equals to A dash C dash, A dash B dash, and B dash C dash. Okay, so here we have a F1. Okay, and here we have a F2. We make a K-map for F2, and here we have a values for F2. Okay, in a F2 we have a this A dash B dash C dash plus A B A C. Okay, here we have a dash B dash C dash plus A B A C. Now if we observe this F1 and F2, so there is no common terms between F1 and F2. Okay, in a F1 we have a 3 terms, in a F2 we have a 3 terms. Okay, so if we implement this F1 and F2 in a normal form, okay, in a true form, normal form, that means true form. Okay, that's why here we write T. Okay, F1 T, F2 T. That means if we implement this F1 and F2 in a true form, or says in a normal form, so we have to use 6 AND gates. Okay, here we have to use 6 AND gate. Here we have to use 6 product terms, because in F1 we have a 3 terms, in F2 we have a 3 terms. Okay, so we can't implement this F1 and F2 in a normal form, because here we have a 6 product term. In example we have given that we have to use only 4 product terms. Okay, so what we are doing, so here we find out a dual form of this F1 and F2, or says we find out complement value of this F1 and F2. So here we find out complement value of F1 and F2 like this. Here we have a complement value of F1, that's why here this F1C is written. Okay, F1C, that means complemented value. So how we find out this? So we make a group of zeros. Okay, we make a group of 0, and this is how we can find out this complements of F1. Okay, so if we make a group of 0 and then we write the value, so we write the value in a SOP form only. Okay, we make a group of 0 but write the values as similar we write in a SOP form. Okay, so here we make a group of 0 and we write logical functions F1 in a complemented form, like F1 is equals to AB AC BC. Okay, and it is a basically complement of F dash, so that's why it is written like complement of this. Okay, so here we have a term AB AC BC. Okay, here we have a term AB AC BC, and here we find out values of F2. Okay, so here we make a group, and here we have a F2 values. Now observe all the 4 entries of F1, F2 in a complemented form and a normal form. If we compare this F1 true form, F2 true form, so here we have to use 6 terms because there are no common terms. But in a F1 complemented form and in a F2 true form, we have a 2 common term, that is AC and AB. Okay, here we have a 2 common term, that is AC and AB. That means here we have a 2 common terms, 1 additional term of F1 and 1 additional term of F2. So here we have a basic 4 terms. Okay, here we have a basic 4 product terms in a F1 complemented form and F2 normal form. So we can implement our logical functions in a PLA structure by considering F1 in a complemented form and F2 in a normal form, because we have to require only 4 product terms. Okay, we have to implement only 4 product terms. That's why we have to consider this kind of complemented values over here. So here if we implement this F1 in a complemented form and F2 in a normal form, so we have a 4 product term, because here AB and AC are common terms, and then 1 additional term here here BC in a F1 and one additional term A dash B dash C dash in a F2. Okay, so using this kind of logic we can implement our logical functions in a PLF with 4 product terms. So here we make it one table to consider which terms are included in a F1, which terms are included in F2, and which logical functions are in a complemented form and which functions are in a normal form. So here we write all the terms. Okay, here we have a B, AC, BC and A dash, B dash, C dash. So here we mark the entries here for A and B. Here this AB is equals to 1, so we have to connect A and B. For BC we have to connect B and C. For AC we have to connect A and C, and here we have a dash, B dash, C dash. So basically here we have a B, C is equals to 0, 0, 0. Okay, so all these values, 4 product terms are either connected with F1 and F2. In F1 we have a AB, AC, BC, and in a F2 we have a AB, AC and A dash, B dash, C dash. Okay, here F1 is in a complemented form and F2 is a normal form. So here we use this XOR gate because this F1 is in a complemented form, so we have to find out original value of F1, that means in a normal form. Okay, because in example we have given that implement F1, not F1 dash. Okay, so here we first realize F1 dash and then again we find the inversion value of F1 dash. So we have a normal values because F1 dash of dash is equals to F1. So this F1 is connected with XOR gate. Okay, this F1 dash, basically F1 dash is connected with XOR gate with input 1. So at the end of this XOR we have a F1, and this F2 is also connected with XOR gate but with input 0. Okay, this F2 is connected with XOR gate with input 0. So here in a F2 we have a just normal values. Okay, so this F1 is connected with XOR gate with input 1. So here we have a F dash, basically here we implement F dash. So F dash of dash is basically F1. So here we have a logical function in a normal form, and F2 is given to our XOR with input 0. So there is a no change. Okay, so using this kind of logic we can implement our logical functions. So here we have a logical diagram of this F1 and F2. Okay, first we connect this A and B, A and C and B and C and A dash, B dash, C dash. Okay, so here we use 4 AND gate because we require only 4 product terms. So here we have a AB, AC, BC. Okay, and this product terms are given to this programmable OR gate. So in a F1 we required AB, AC, BC, and here in F2 we required AB, AC, A dash, B dash, C dash. Okay, so here we connect this 3 product terms and here we connect this 3 product terms. So here we have a this complement value of F1 and normal value of F2. Now here we have a complement value of F1. So here we use this XOR gate. So here this F1 is given to XOR gate with input 1. So basically here we have this output of F1 with 1. Okay, output of F1 with 1. So here we have a normal form of F1 because here we have a complemented form of F1. So basically here we have a F1 and this F2R is in a original form. So here we require no change. So here we also use XOR but with input 0. Okay, here we also use XOR with input 0. So there is a no change. So here this is how we can implement F1 and F2. Okay, for F1 this XOR is connected with input 1 to produce a normal form output of F1, and this F2 is connected with 0 as an input in a XOR gate because there is a no change required because F2 is in a normal form. Okay, so this is how we can implement any logical function in programmable logic array. Here we have a various advantages of programmable logic array. This programmable logic array has various advantages, that is it is a very flexible, less time consuming, simple circuit, easy to use and easy to reconfigure. Okay, layout is far simpler. Okay, here we have a layout is far simpler, and whenever we adopt new IC technology, so basically this programmable logic array is reconfigurable. Okay, so adoption of a new technology in this programmable logic array is quite easy as compared to other programmable logic device. Okay, and this programmable logic array is quite inexpensive. Okay, this is quite inexpensive, but it has only this disadvantage that it has a larger size of a chip areas, okay, larger size of a chip areas, and it has a lower speed, okay, and it has a lower speed. And this small size advantage is basically diminished when we have a disjunctive forms inputs, okay, we have a disjunctive forms logical functions. So this advantage of this programmable logic array may be altered, okay, so that's why we have only this kind of disadvantage in programmable logic array. But this programmable logic array is quite very easy, very flexible whenever we want to design various logical functions. So this is our programmable logic array, that is PLA. Thank you.